Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to tackle one of your home's most critical and honestly most mysterious systems, your HVAC. We're going to break down all the complex stuff into a clear, simple guide that puts you back in the driver's seat. Okay, let's just dive right into a scenario that every single homeowner dreads. Picture this. It's 90 degrees out, the humidity is so thick you could swim in it, and your air conditioner just gives up. That sinking feeling of panic. We're going to flip that script. We'll turn it into a moment where you feel empowered because you'll have the knowledge to act, not just react. You know, in a place like Michigan, where you get those bone-chilling winter freezes and then these sweltering, sticky summer heat waves, your heating and cooling system isn't just a nice-to-have. No way. It is an absolute lifeline for your home's comfort and, frankly, your safety.
All right, so first things first, let's figure out what's actually going on. Long before a total meltdown, your system is usually sending out little warning signs, little cries for help. The trick is knowing how to read them.
So your AC is running, you can hear it humming, but the air coming out isn't cold. One of the most common culprits, believe it or not, is a giant block of ice inside your unit. It sounds crazy, right? But it's a classic sign that you've got an airflow problem. And here's the chain reaction. It's like a domino effect that almost always starts with something super simple and totally preventable, like a clogged filter. That dirty filter restricts the airflow, which makes the coils inside get way too cold. Then, the moisture on them freezes solid, which blocks the air completely, and boom, no more cool air, and you're risking serious damage to the whole system.
Okay, another big one. The heart of your outdoor AC unit, the compressor, is really vulnerable to what's going on around it. If that thing overheats, the whole system just shuts down. Game over.
And get this, your own yard can be the problem, especially in neighborhoods with big, mature trees. All that stuff, the cottonwood seeds in the spring, falling leaves in the autumn, it can coat your outdoor unit like a thick, fuzzy blanket. It literally suffocates the unit, chokes off the airflow, and forces that poor compressor to overheat and fail. All right, so this brings us to the big one, right? The question every homeowner has to face when a major part dies. Do you shell out for a really expensive repair, or is it finally time to bite the bullet and invest in a whole new system? Well, there's actually a simple little rule of thumb that can bring some surprising clarity to this really tough decision. It's called the $5,000 rule. All you need are two numbers: how old your system is and what the repair is going to cost. Here's how it works. It's super simple. You multiply the age of your unit by the repair estimate. If that number comes out to more than 5,000, then replacing it is probably the smarter move in the long run. So, for example, a 12-year-old system that needs a $450 fix, well, that gets you $5,400, and that's a pretty clear signal that it's time to start looking at new units. And this is why you have to be really realistic about your system's age. I mean, especially in a place with 4 tough seasons, this equipment has a pretty predictable lifespan. Your AC is going to give you about 12 to 15 good years, and a furnace maybe 15 to 20. Trying to push them much beyond that is often just throwing good money after bad. So let's just break down the trade-offs. A repair, yeah, it costs less upfront, it's a quick fix for the immediate problem. But a replacement, that's a whole different ballgame. You get long-term reliability, better energy efficiency, which means lower bills, and, maybe best of all, the peace of mind of a brand new 10-year parts warranty. So the real question is, how do you get off this roller coaster of breakdowns and expensive, stressful fixes? Well, the absolute best way to deal with an HVAC emergency is to stop it from ever happening in the first place. And I cannot stress this enough, annual maintenance is everything. Seriously, think of a professional tune-up like a yearly physical for your system. They'll clean all the critical parts, check refrigerant levels, test the safety controls. They catch the small, cheap problems before they turn into those huge, expensive, system-killing emergencies. Okay, so when you start shopping for new systems, you're going to see a bunch of alphabet soup. AFUE for your furnace, SEER for your air conditioner. You don't need to know the math behind them. Just remember this one simple thing. The higher the number, the less energy it uses, and the more money stays in your wallet. And just look at the gap between the bare minimum federal standards and the high-efficiency models you can get today. It is huge. Upgrading from an old 80% AFUE furnace to a new 95% one literally means that for every dollar you used to spend on heat, 15 cents now stays right in your pocket. So, the bottom line is this. That small, steady investment in maintenance and efficiency, It's not just another bill. It's an investment that truly pays for itself over the life of the system, with lower utility bills and way fewer of those dreaded emergency repair calls. Okay, so you've got the knowledge now. You know what to look for. But how do you find someone you can actually trust to do the work right? A real pro? Think of this as your non-negotiable checklist. A true professional will have their licenses and certifications, no question. They'll insist on pulling the right permits, and they will always give you a clear, written estimate before they even think about starting the work. This is all about protecting you, your home, and your investment. And look, all this stuff about licenses and permits, it's not just a bunch of red tape. It's about making sure the job is done safely, period. It protects your home's resale value, and this is a big one, it's what keeps that brand new 10-year manufacturer's warranty from being instantly voided. So in the end, it all boils down to this one question. By understanding how your system works, by knowing its distress signals, and by being proactive, you're not just preventing a breakdown. You are taking active control of your home's comfort, its safety, and its finances. You're managing an asset, not just sitting around waiting for the next crisis to happen.